Alright guys, what's happening? Welcome back to another episode of We the People, where the people come for the truth. And the truth is, what about these terrorists, bro? You know, all these people spoke so bad about these terrorists, and now supposedly the federal government is raking in all this money for terrorists. I'm talking trillions of dollars, right? I believe it's in the trillions right now, right? Trillions, or let's say billions. Billions of dollars in revenue from the terrorists. And this is like just found money, right? Well, here's my kicker. What about if the terrorists really work, since everybody thought that they didn't work, which they do work, right? Our country was the richest off the terrorists. I've been saying that since the beginning, that the terrorists were a great idea. And I support President Trump all the way with the terrorists. Now, here's the kicker, President Trump. In the beginning, when we talked about the terrorists, you talked about getting rid of the federal income tax. Well, we still had the federal income tax. And the problem is we pay tax on tax on tax on tax. Right? Why are we paying tax on tax on tax on tax on tax? Why is it that my family owns their home and they still have to pay property taxes? They own the property. So if you're paying taxes on the property every year, that somebody still owns that. You don't own that. We own that. So how do we pay this? How are we still paying the state taxes? Right? But my thing is that I don't mind. I'd rather keep the federal income tax and get rid of the state income tax. Because I live in one of the most corrupt states there are. I live in Maryland. Right? Baltimore, Maryland is one of the most corrupt states there are. You will never see an asphalt road crew. You might see a snow truck with asphalt in the back of it going around patching a couple holes up. You might see that. But you ain't never going to see an asphalt crew down there ripping them roads up and redoing all them roads down on North Avenue, Biddle Street, none of that. The federal government allocates so much money every year to the state in order to do roads, bridges, and tunnels, and they never do it. They never use that money for that. Not to mention, Amazon is one of the biggest road destroyers in our city, and they do not pay $1 in road tax. But we do. Make that make sense. Right? If you think it's time to get rid of the income tax, hit that like, subscribe, and share, and leave me a comment, man. Let's make our voices be heard. Remember, this is the working man.